The world governing body for swimming has voted to restrict participation of transgender athletes in elite swimming competitions. The new rule, which passed by a 71% majority of all members, states that it will require transgender competitors to have completed their transition by the age of 12 to be able to compete in women's competitions. The new decision took place at the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary. 152 nations' federations were gathered and heard a report from a transgender task force made up of leading medical and sports figures. No word from transgender athlete Leah Thomas, who recently won NCAA Women's Championship swimming events. Let's see some comments on Reddit. Common sense prevails, more please. Breaking news. Leah Thomas now transitions back to being a man. The funny part is he wouldn't be competing at a high level at all. From what I remember, I don't think this guy was even top 500 or something. If I can't compete against biological women, it'll hurt my feelings. That's basically their argument. In the BBC article, it said that competitors cannot have reached a certain stage in male puberty by the age of 12 to be able to compete in women's sport. That makes way more sense, as male puberty is what changes the anatomy of a male body to have an advantage in strength over a female body. Basically, the rule is, if you want to compete in women's sport, you cannot have gone through male puberty. Physiologically, it makes a little sense. Males that transition early don't get the biological benefits of male puberty. But it validates early transitions, which is horrible and will lead to more people trying to transition their children. 12 and under should not be taking these drugs to begin with or be allowed to make those decisions. Way too young. The rule should be zero trans should be able to compete. There is a huge negative side to this rule. Not a fan. It used to be simple, but then Clown World happened, and now you had to transition before puberty is actually, sadly, progress. Olympic stage moms now have all the more motivation to rush their kids' transitions and put them on puberty blockers at a young age now. It's still 1,000 times better than allowing hardened adult male athletes to compete. At least this will knock out 99.5% of them. Still, child transitioning is an entirely different kettle of fish, and needs banning to fully close these doors of madness for good. It's disgusting, but makes political sense for the organization. They're basically saying we have nothing against trans women, but we can't allow people who've completed any male puberty to compete in the women's division. I was kind of hoping it would go a little further before being shut down, just to see how insane it could get, like tons of trans women winning Olympic medals in the next Olympics. It is an international vote, so it's good to see the rest of the world is not importing this woke bullshit. Would love to see a list of the countries that don't understand biology. I don't think leftists realize that most of the world is very socially conservative. I always have to laugh at that leftist canard of the US is right-wing compared to the rest of the world. The US is progressive compared to most of the world. Of course, what they really mean is the US is socially conservative compared to Western Europe. It's amazing seeing these people act as if they're so culturally sensitive and understanding when in reality they are just as Western-centric. All they really want is just Western Europe. I just wish they were honest about it more often. The American media will frame it as 70% are racist bigots and the world needs more LGBT stuff shoved down their throat. My favorite is when people say, oh, people wouldn't pretend to be a woman just to win at sports. Entire teams of people have pretended to be mentally disabled to win at the Paralympic. This is the exact analogy that I like to use when this topic comes up. It's so obvious that one cannot become eligible for the Special Olympics just because one identifies as disabled. Video made at rolladeo.com. Thanks for watching.